This is a story of three brothers, Drogo, Nicolae, and Peter. Drogo fled to Forgotten Hollow when some crazed man attacked him, and ended up turning him into a vampire a year ago. It took him this long to get himself under control. Nicolae and Peter missed their brothers so much they volunteered to be turned not long after their arrival. Nicolae volunteered to go first. The eldest of the brothers, he welcomed the idea of eternal life. To change, Drogo needs to bite, but not necessarily feed on his brother. First he bites Nicolae. Now, Nicolae has to drink from Drogo. Nicolae doesn't know how much blood to consume. Drogo definitely knows, and pushes him off. Peter doesn't take to the idea of changing into a vampire very well. He hates life without his brothers, so he allows Drogo to change him. Had Peter stayed back home, he would have continued to be picked on, simply because he's a little different. When Drogo bites his wrist and offers Peter his blood, Peter drinks as if he's done this before. Truth is, he has. Running with a strange crowd in high school had some kinky rules. Peter becomes aroused and Drogo pushes him away. Peter's too greedy, but now his stomach tells him that wasn't a good idea. Nicolae and Peter reflect on what their last meal will be. Some fast food from Willow Creek? Peter's stomach is getting the best of him. Drogo encourages them to sit down and read every vampire tomb made. It'll help them become stronger when they turn. The more Peter's stomach turns, it sounds like it cannot handle the stress. Drogo encourages them to sit down and read over every vampire tomb made. It'll help them become stronger when they turn. Both Peter and Nicolae pick up the vampire tombs and study hard enough to avoid their ever-increasing pain in their stomachs. Peter wishes he stayed home. Drogo didn't tell him it was this bad. Drogo takes a little nap to prepare to head out and get a meal. Peter has drastically made it to level 7 in vampire lore. All his past speed reading at the library has paid off. Nicolae takes a bath hoping he'd feel better. I'd show you a closer look, but well, you know. As the three brothers talk, Peter interrupts his brothers. We can become bats and fly high in the sky? Yes, we can fly. Are you excited? Peter laughs. If that's true, that's awesome. Drogo advises his brothers to sleep off the pain, but that decision is theirs. Drogo gets a text from his girlfriend who he met at a dance party 3 months ago. He hasn't bitten her yet and respects her. She's his type of girl next door and very mortal. Drogo accepts her odd date request and gets back to his brothers. Peter had fallen asleep on the couch, but decided to sleep in a bed so he doesn't have to listen to his brothers. Nicolae tells Drogo, I hear there's a cure. Drogo laughs. Why would you want a cure? Being immortal, having powers that can make somebody pee in their pants, is worth vampirism alone. Nicolae has researched so much, he has a recipe that can permit him to leave the house during sunlight. Drogo failed to tell him about going in the sun, maybe later. Peter continues to sleep off the feeling, but he cannot sleep for days. Drogo is on the computer in the dungeon, aka their basement. He can order real-life drugs online? Is this legal? They're making this too easy. MD, MA, really? Even Drogo wouldn't take advantage of a woman who's consumed it. There's marijuana? Ah, Purple Haze, OG Kush, and AK-47, but where's the Girl Scout cookies? Drogo's never done it, so he ends up buying some high-quality speed. Some speed with his vampire skills will be wild. Drogo's thirst is being triggered. In order to be successful, especially where he's going, he has to arm himself with an alluring visage. Drogo has never visited this location before. He hopes there's some tasty plasma inside. Unable to resist the urge to walk into the restaurant and kill the first person he sees, he drinks from a blood bank's plasma pack. Time for hunting has begun. Immediately, the only customer picks up his alluring visage. This weakens the people around him, forcing them into automatically be sexually attracted to him. He sits down with, it doesn't matter her name, he just wants to figure out her blood type while she thinks about him sexually. Drogo thinks she talks too much, maybe flirting will shut her up. Some stranger randomly texts Drogo, inviting him into a club full of college kids. He's not interested. This woman will not shut up. Now Nicolae started texting him. It must be like drunk dialing, instead begging to leave the house. No, it's not safe. In order to shut her up, Drogo kisses her. Hopefully this isn't Ariel's roommate. Another one. Wait, is she the same girl? No. He approaches her and it hits her immediately. She looks familiar. Maybe she's part of the dormers. This one might make a wonderful meal. They take a seat when another woman comes in under his spell. He talks to them both to hear they are both in the media. This won't work. He'd be caught in no time, so he better be nice if the visage stays. They won't remember any part of it. Another woman at a nearby table starts a conversation with them, but she's not under his spell. The visage is wearing off. He notices the first girl was back to normal while the other's flirting with him. He holds up his finger. I'm not interested. You look like a whore. Ouch! She leaves with pain in her heart. Out of his visage, and knowing it, he tries to flirt with the smaller of the two. He says, I like your outfit. He mumbles, on my floor. She pulls back, sensing something's not right, although she didn't hear his mumble. Now that night is here, people are coming in, foiling his plan at being as discreet as possible. He's hungry. This isn't good. He sits down across a brunette. They tend to be easier than blondes like him. They're more willing to give their blood willingly and are aroused by the thought. But the blonde is cute. He needs her blood. He doesn't care who sees. This hunt is getting old fast. He depletes her energy, and shockingly, nobody cares. She's fallen on the floor and is in a deep sleep. The woman in front of him, who has no idea what he's doing, compliments his hair. She's bald, but he doesn't care why. He thanks her. Drogo mesmerizes his fallen target to keep her on the floor until less people are around. He orders a plasma Jane, which contains blood and helps his cravings. He waits until a majority of people leave, then locks the door and attacks, drinking from her deeply. If nobody cared enough the first time she was on the floor, they won't now. He will have to erase the witnesses' memories. They're mad at what he's doing. And down she goes. Then Drogo commands her to leave after he unlocks the door, and she left. With a full stomach and given the power of human blood, he can now go back to his transforming brothers. Peter's up watching TV. Nicolae's about to vomit on the computer. He's gonna go eat some macaroni and cheese since they have a ton of it. That actually doesn't sound so good after all. Nicolae's stomach turns. A steak would be really good as the last meal. Too bad there's no steak in the refrigerator. In fact, the refrigerator only contains odd things like yogurt, ice cream, and a whole lot of whipped cream. Who knows what that is for? He'll read to get his mind off this. Did Drogo go through this? Did he do drugs to direct his attention elsewhere or sleep like he suggested? Peter's gonna try to eat some macaroni and cheese. He's so hungry. He turns off the TV. Ah, those predictable love stories. What about not living happily ever after? He takes a bite and it tastes like what he'd expect a brain would taste, with the same lumpy consistency. His stomach is more pissed at him now than before he took a bite. Oh, the smell. The food smells like a football player's locker. Drogo decides to check on his brother. He can read Peter's mind completely. You should paint something. You've always been into that kind of crap. Or, if you want to make yourself useful, you can clean. I'm thinking of hiring a maid. They deliver. Peter groans. No. Drogo reminds him, as soon as you change, stay out of the sun, okay? Drogo knows what to do. He heard while he was gone Peter got really sick. So now it's time to mesmerize Peter. He will be so out of it for so long he can't throw up. Nicolae will have some macaroni and cheese too. It sounds good. Any food, anything. He takes a bite. Oh God, that's horrible. He takes another bite. I can't eat this. Nicolae takes another bite. Meanwhile, Peter is still mesmerized and feeling dazed. It's kind of cool, he thinks, as the world spins around him. The macaroni Nicolae just ate is coming back. Look away if you don't want to see this. Oh, poor Nicolae. That wasn't exactly all in the bowl. How disgusting. Drogo senses something happen and flies upstairs as the bat. Drogo notices the toilet. He should have done this to his older brother sooner. Drogo mesmerizes Nicolae and becomes responsible brother. I know, right? He cleans the toilet of Nicolae's vomit as his brother sways side to side. Drogo has been to a lot of parties. Nothing surprises him. Peter has come out of his trance. Peter's going to attempt to eat again. Hopefully he doesn't get sick on Drogo. Peter can't stand the food so much he pulls his fork away as if his body is warning him to stop. Peter gives up and goes back to sleep. Nicolae wakes from his trance. What the hell? How'd I get in here? Drogo invites Ariel over. He's never had to take care of two mortals turning into vampires before. Ariel can fix any solution. He's so happy to see her. Right now, she's the only person who can carry on a normal conversation. She seems off though. Drogo will have to change that. He kisses her, but still feels something is up. Ariel tells Drogo, "Did you hear about that explosion that happened in Windenburg? One of my best friends got hurt. I don't know how to comfort her." Drogo heads inside. Fuck, you guys always fly off. Drogo calls in his angry girlfriend. It's not safe on the porch. Drogo makes Ariel a drink, as a scoop of protein in it. She'd rather drink her food. Well, not the way he does it. There's no blood. I would want it all to myself if there was. Did I tell you my brothers are transforming? I'm not sure you're safe here. Are either of them single? Why? Oh, please, Drogo, you're the only man I love. Drogo pulls out his camera. Hey, take this picture before they kill me. It's time. Nicolae's stomach is in complete knots. He's transforming. He's lifted into the air and twirled around. He isn't able to control this. His feet are off the floor. Nicolae drops and suddenly turns into a completely different person. Then, he turns back into his human form. Nicolae is now in pain. At least now, it's not his stomach. It's all over. Drogo decides to check in on Nicolae. This is so strange. I keep thinking about food, but if I eat it, it's horrible. Drogo sings, "The sun will come out tomorrow, except in Forgotten Hollow." You think this is all funny, don't you? We need to be happy because we're dead. I can see Peter draped over that organ singing some emo shit. Speaking of, how's Peter? You bit him right after me. I'll check. Lucky for Peter, he's asleep. Nicolae holds his head. This was a stupid idea. Why do I need to live the next 500 years for? Peter is awake and is hit with the same pain his brother just felt. Peter's lifted into the air and twirled around. It's happening. He's becoming a vampire. He turns into his dark form and hisses. He then turns back into his old self. My head is throbbing so bad I want to scream. Drogo watched everything with Peter go down from the door to his bedroom. He flies next to Peter. Now I know what you want right now, but you need not bite anyone. If you do it right now, you'll kill them, and then all I have to do is help you get rid of the body, and I won't do that. Drogo sits down. I'm hungry. I'll be your cat, and after I kill, I'll leave the body on your doorstep like it's a mouse. Drogo's not amused. Then I'd kill you. I have this urge to try my powers. Okay, let's see. Peter does a garlic immunity spell. No! Do this. I command Vlad to show up. He holds his head. Ah, fuck! That hurt. That messed me up. You did very good for a first-timer. Fuck. I'll get it down. By the way, I killed Vlad. It wasn't easy to do. After I killed him, I had a party full of mortals. This was his house. Are you serious? Did you bite him? No, if only it was that simple. Come downstairs and I'll feed the two of you. At the bar, Peter. A man walked into a bar in a heart boxers, and then everyone noticed they were yellow instead of white. And he goes, did anyone see my ex-wife? This is all she gave me in the divorce. Drogo. Aha! You're gonna need this drink more than anyone. She took everything. The boxers weren't even his. I get it, Peter. I don't know if that's a joke, or your turning has left you delirious. Fine, I'm delirious. I'm gonna look up where the closest library is on the computer. Drogo calls, Nicolae, come over here. I'm making a drink for you. Nicolae sits down. This is the best drink out there, and it won't kill you. Drogo puts the drink down. Nicolae picks it up and drinks. Not bad at all. It looks like a chick drink. Chicks are vampires too. Peter comes in. I'm almost done with yours. Peter groans. Is it that drink that smells like that? Blood does have a sweet smell. Everything is enhanced. Get used to it, bro. Peter drinks. Looks in. Not bad. I never saw purple blood before. It's plasma. That's what you drink. Vampire or not, you can still get drunk and have a good time. What will happen when the brothers go out? Find out next time on I Love the Bartholys.
Just don't get too far, and I'll be right where you are. You're a dream that I could finally see. I just want